Hello, friends. Uh, I've decided to do this in a video journal format from here on out. So essentially, I'll do these videos when I have some sort of a breakthrough, substantial breakthrough within myself. And this is me speaking to myself as a reminder, and whomever it resonates with besides that is wonderful as well. So, just a little bit of context over the past 3 days, 4 days. I had been prior to that in about a week long contrast experience. Typical stuff, just basically became exhausted, was unable to focus into alignment, and so kind of went down the spiral for a little bit there. Even allowed myself to, well, I guess I will speak a little bit about it. The significance of it being that I was able to be aware the entire time I was in contrast, that I was in the contrast experience, and instead of identifying with it, I was able to hold the perspective of how this is an empowering springboard for the next version of myself. So that being said, hit a little bit of a rock bottom, self-induced, came out of it, and then as of about 4 days ago, I got some good sleep. I was able to focus and recenter and go about my merry way, blasting off, you know. So I just want to get out the main experience today, which is really kind of a symbiosis, a combination of past realizations that are have the amplifying effect of current experiences. And essentially it's the process, what I like to call fundamental observations of the human experience, which is the 4 steps. Thank you, Matthias. You have an expression born within you. You go out and explore that expression, that desire. After you have the exploration, you then integrate it. You maybe ponder it and realize what aspects of the experience you want to carry forward into the next version of yourself, and then let it go. You let it go. It was never yours to begin with. It was just a temporary experience for you to have, so as to become something new. So those are the 4 kind of pillars or steps to any, I almost want to say 3-dimensional experience, but definitely from my own journey, the human experience, right? Whether it be having a cup of coffee or going on a vacation or just anything small to incredibly complex. Okay, so that being said, I've had that in awareness for a while now, and recently, over the past 3 days, I was able to have the beautiful breakthrough, focusing enough to realize, and when I say focusing long enough, and some say 15 or some say 17 seconds. I just make it a blanket 20. Just that's just what comes to me. But so focusing, if you can focus on anything, on any desire for at least 17, 20 seconds, you will begin to see glimpses of it in 3-dimensional space-time. And this has been something that I've been journeying with for many years, and I hit an all-time breakthrough with it over the past 4 days. So I'll just use the real example I like to day trade, to play with the money, so to speak. So the stock market, I'll get up. Historically, I'll, you know, back in the day, old version of Michael, get up and read, the headlines or whatever, get the news, drink the coffee, get alert, maybe do a little bit of stretching, but just so that I can like be more cerebral, right? More intellectual about my trading. That very I pretty quickly realized that wasn't really getting me anywhere, because all I was doing, without getting too deep into it, was reinforcing how stuck I was with the subject of money. Now, cut to the past 3 days, I get up, I get into alignment first, right? When I say first, it's really the only thing that matters. So I'll just do a couple of deep cleansing breaths. I'll scan the body. I'll see where any discordant feelings are living, or where I'm holding stuck energy. I'll kind of balance it out, get it flowing, right? Meditation. And again, this is a brief tangent, but the main idea here being that any discordant feelings in the body are a result of discordant thoughts, belief systems that we hold, right? So if we have a desire, but we don't believe that we can accomplish it, then we feel it is like, as they say, it doesn't ring true. It just doesn't feel true, right? And then the other hand being, when you know something is true, when you know something is within your reach, or that you already have it, there's no question about it. You just say, as some beautiful souls say, how do you get from your bedroom to the kitchen? Well, you just walk there, right? You just get up and go to the kitchen. Was there any doubt in how you would get there? No, because you know you can walk to the kitchen. There's no question about it. Okay, so that's kind of the idea of how I align. It's essentially being hyper aware of what thoughts I'm entertaining. For instance, get up in the morning, set my alarm 10 minutes early. I wake up. In that moment, I know I'm already in relative flow before the thoughts kick in, right? The thoughts are the capacitance, the resistance to our open circuitry. So, or I should say closed circuitry if you're thinking that, but like, if your body were an electrical circuit, then to have free-flowing energy, you want as little resistance as possible, and the thoughts are your only resistance. So you wake up, you say, all right, I'm just going to allow myself to stay relaxed, feeling good, feeling cozy, all is well. I don't have to do anything for 10 minutes, but to focus on how good it feels to simply be alive. Okay, and then the trick is to take that into your day. Take that to your shower, to breakfast, whatever is next. So, a little bit of a longer tangent than I thought, but yeah, essentially, I wake up, I align, and I go have something small to eat, some mud water, which I enjoy recently, something like this, and get a little bit of flow going into the physical body. But anyway, just being clear, aligned. Go sit at the computer, and then I just listen, right? I'm actually waiting for the trade to come to me, whereas before I would be looking frantically at all the charts, listening to the news sources, whatever I could like do to try to think my way ahead of it. Whereas what I realized, you really don't need to do that. At least this is my personal story of success recently, is I simply intuitively, I wait for the intuition to tell me what action to take. Um, so let's say, I've been trading Mara lately, which is a Bitcoin mining company. Um, and so, I went to the Mara chart, I looked at it, and it felt right to enter at a certain level. Basically, I'm hyper aware of the feeling of once I'm in alignment, what takes me out of it, right? So if I'm enter the trade, uh, once I enter the trade, I should say, this is where it is historically the challenge, especially if you're going kind of big, right? Bigger than you're accustomed to or comfortable with. This is how we stretch ourselves, right? It's like the anxiety kicks in, the thoughts are first, like, okay, it's on. Oh shoot, it's going up, it's going down. What's it going to do next? This is a big position. All these thoughts start to go through the mind, and then the body follows. You get tight. You start to second guess yourself. You shift into basically doubt, fear, uncertainty, doubt, all that stuff. The second that happens, if I'm, well, let's just say I'm having a good day, right? I just get out of the trade because I pretty much historically know that that's gonna go against me, right? If I can't remain in flow, uh, the best course of action is to get out, to recenter, and try again. Okay, so let's say I'm able to maintain my alignment. I get into the trade. It's a big position. I know this is the key, and this is what I experienced. Being able to align with my intention of the trade, where I think it's going to go, how much profit I'm going to take, and once I once I punch in, I the only priority, the only thing that I need to do is to remain in that alignment, to hold that vision in my mind's eye, to be able to say, I entered at 21, it's going to 21.74. Okay. Now, how much do you want to challenge yourself here? Do you want to, set you're in the trade now, set a stop loss, set a profit taking. This is all automated these days with the beautiful software that we have. And sit there and watch the trade go down and challenge yourself emotionally? Or do you just walk away, have some more coffee or whatever, do some stretching? It doesn't matter what, right? But what I'm trying to get across is, if I do decide, let's say I take the easy path and I say I'm going to go do a little bit of stretching and have a bite to eat while this trade plays out. Now, it's still, the only variable here is how well can I stay in alignment, and just being hyper aware of how I feel about it. So say I walk away from the computer, start stretching, I feel good, I let it go, right? If you can let it go completely, that's golden. But on a big trade, the gravity of it sucks you in, right? Like, you're like, it's in your head, you're wondering, oh, I just want to look. Okay, so none of it matters. The only thing that matters is, how do I feel? So I'm sitting there stretching. If I feel discordant too much, and then I start to realize I'm just thinking about how it could go against me, I should have put my stop closer or something, that's my cue to just go and get out of it, right? Because I'm not able to maintain my alignment. I'll go back to the drawing board. I'll try again later. What I was able to accomplish over the past few days was to have unconditional love, to hold the experience of unconditional love during the trade. This is the no fail, you can't fail, right? Like, and it's a little backwards, because unconditional love, meaning that I'm at peace with whether this trade goes for me or against me, because I have come to realize the perspective of life that it doesn't matter what I have. All that matters is my ability to remain in alignment. Because when we're in alignment, we experience the peace, the joy, the fulfillment, everything that we're going out and making the trade or getting the ice cream or marriage or house. All of that stuff is because we think we'll feel this contentment, this joy, this alignment by doing it, right? So it's the paradox, right? It's like, okay, yeah, I'm playing with the money, I'm playing with the stock market, but not because I need it to go my way. That's the trap. You can't need it to do anything in particular. It's because I enjoy playing with money. I love getting up and the possibility of making a living like this, or whatever it is for you personally. You have to stay in that purity of alignment of like, why do you do it? If you're doing it just because you need to get rich or something, then that's most likely, in my humble opinion, experience, not going to work out. So that's it. Okay, so that was more of a contextual, fundamental explanation. Here's the actual breakthrough. Thank you for patience. I'm speaking to myself anyway. So back to expression, exploration, integration, transcendence. These are the 4 steps to the cycle of that is the human experience, what I call quantum time. Anyway, I realized, real quick, one more thing. So as I was trading and I was able to stay in my alignment in the flow state, and things were going completely in my favor. I was making all the right moves, so to speak, right? Intuitively. I realized what was happening within me was what they call the Kundalini Experience. At least this is my current understanding of it, right? Because this just happened, so I haven't fully integrated this experience. But if I can stay in flow under that type of pressure, I'm hypersensitive to, there's basically a cycle of energy being sucked into my root chakra, and then it comes up into the gut, where it basically goes through like a process there, and then up through the chest, the heart chakra, where another process occurs, and then up into the head and the crown chakra, which is another process. Now, historically, I've had a challenge. It's been very challenging for me to not feel stuck in my head. Over the years, I've been able to clear my entire body, or feel openness in especially my gut, my root, my gut, my heart. All of those, for the most part, have felt like the most open spaces. About 5 years ago, prior to 5 years ago, my throat was very closed, very stuck. I'm even getting glimpses of that now, just speaking it or thinking about it. But then I was able to feel that open more. And then up until recently, and today especially, my head was very, was the closed gate, right? So I finally was able to feel over the past 4 days my head open, not like a floodgate opening and just, but Put it this way, instead of now stagnant energy, like almost like a solid object lodged, somewhere here, like where they say the pineal and the third eye. Now I could feel it swirling, right? At least moving, kind of circulating, and that, ooh, even that was absolutely amazing. Like to feel that it was just so much relief, right? Instead of feeling totally stuck, it was like some movement. I've been yearning for this for a long time. And then also the ability to feel today, especially, um, the energy flow all the way out and kind of swirl around up somewhere around here. And that, I mean, there just are no words. I'm so elated. I'm very excited to integrate this. I feel like it is definitely a new ability that I will be able to carry forward. One other key thing, the golden key that unlocked this, as far as what am I doing energetically, was the energetic stance of optimism, right? So we know how it feels earlier, like I was saying, when we say something like, I can fly to the moon. Okay, there's some doubt that comes in there. Like in 3D, I haven't yet unlocked that ability to just fly to the moon, right? But says if I say this tapestry is mint or some shade of turquoise or something, then it's like, yeah, that obviously, right? So that stance of confidence, when you know something to be true, and this is where the meditation and the inward journey is everything that one needs to accomplish, because you become so, when you stop identifying with this and go into like the heart or the gut or anywhere other than the mind, you realize there's intelligence happening throughout your entire body all the time, and you begin to identify with the subtle energies that are always you, all the other aspects of you that you never knew you could be, right? Okay, so then this stance, over the past probably several months, I've really been working on trusting myself, right? Confidence, and knowing that the only thing I need to do to be a valid, not just valid human, this is like the basics, is to just know how to be me, right? To the whole journey here on earth is to remember who we are, to know what our particular adventures, what are we here to do, right? Know thyself. This is very powerful. And then once you kind of get glimpses of that, the challenge is to get past the gatekeeper that is our belief system, basically who we've been programmed or allowed ourselves to program, to be programmed to believe who we are and what we are. And that, obviously is like, that's the gatekeeper. So when you have like a desire born within you, immediately that's one of the first checks, right? It's like, oh, I want to take this year off to travel the entire world. But then it's like, oh, but what about your job? What about like all the definitions that you hold to believe is who you are, and the conflict arises, right? So the idea is, and again, if one can play with this lightheartedly, right? Because the second you cross into like, oh, I need to do this to become the next level of spirituality or something, you hold yourself stuck. You have to stay lighthearted and playful. This is not like this is not a 9 to 5 job where you need to like this is not a linear task journey, right? This is This is multidimensional. This is quantum. So the key is fluidity, allowance, to ride the wave, right? You're not trying. You need to be lighthearted. So once you can have a desire born within you, say, I want to travel the world this next year, and the conflict comes up, it's like, okay, yeah, no, I understand. But you bypass that very easily by just saying to yourself, let's just imagine this for fun, right? Let's go into uh, hypothetical land. Let's just fantasize. Let's have a daydream, right? That bypasses now the gatekeeper of says, oh, okay, I can relax. He's not like saying we're just gonna abandon everything I know myself to be. The ego does not like being challenged in that way, right? So now you allow yourself to fantasize and daydream. Oh, where would I go? Would I start in Europe? I haven't been to Asia lately. Like, whatever, however your fantasy plays out. Okay, now see the difference? Even speaking it, I can feel how allowing myself to just have the daydream puts me in that stance, energetic stance of optimism, of uh, it allows me to stay in flow, in a relaxed, yeah, like that would be fun, that would be cool, that feels good. This is for me everything recently is realizing that I can stay in that optimistic stance, in that open receptive mode, right? uh, by well, it's almost like a muscle, or I would say it's a muscle memory, right? You have to feel what it feels like so by fantasizing and saying like, or just even saying my phone is good, my my iPad works, whatever is true for you right now, then you're like, yeah, it rings true. You feel what that feels like energetically, and you take a snapshot of it. You take like an emotional snapshot, and you allow yourself to uh, learn that energetic stance, as I call it. By that I just mean like emotion, how it feels, right? It's like, yes, I believe it, and not only do I believe it, it feels good to believe it. I think that's it. So I was able to do that and remain in that. And this is where the awareness kicks in big time, right? Because I can sit here for 15 minutes and have a practice and be like, yeah, let me remember what it feels like to have this energetic stance. But then I move into the kitchen or anywhere really. I'll even looking, I see drumsticks on the floor. I have to go to band practice. I'm gonna have to drive there. There'll be right? Like, this is how the mind self-sabotages very quickly without you just like, it's slippery, right? To have that awareness. No, so now instead of going down that rabbit hole, I get up and I see the drumstick. I'm like, I gotta go to band practice. I have to go to, oh, let's say, wait, how's my alignment? Cool. What do I really like about those drumsticks? Yeah, I get to go to band practice. I get to go play beautiful rock music with people that I love, and like, basically, how am I gonna enjoy that? Instead of thinking of all of the challenges that are all the disempowering thoughts that the rabbit hole will, bring me across. So that's the example. Staying in that optimistic stance. This is the practice, and I'm not here to sell it to anybody because this is just my journal now. I love this format because I'm talking to myself, saying this works. I um, I made, and not that not that the money is, that's the paradox of it. The money is like secondary. I don't care if I win or lose now. It's not that I don't care. I'm at peace with it because I know that it's just a practice of alignment. And now that I know I can stay in alignment with bigger trades on the line, it's just freedom. What are we really after? What am I really after? I'm after freedom. I'm after freedom. And what does freedom feel like, right? Now, when you ask that, remember, there's always two subjects. are you experiencing the lack of freedom or freedom? And so this has been a tough one, right? For most people, for uh, my entire life was, I think, oh, freedom, yeah, and the first thing comes to mind is like, I have I have a job, I work for somebody, and uh, my freedom feels limited. So the way I've been practicing transcending that, and this is a challenge, but I've been doing this over the past several years. When I go to work, I find ways to feel free, and my job is, you know, objectively a very uh, well, I'm blessed, right? I am a pilot and I'm a captain as well. So when I go to work, I don't need to um, really answer to anybody. I create the atmosphere. And, let's not even go there, circumstances, because basically what I do now is I go to work, I have to drive to the airport. When I get to the airport, well, on my drive, I just align, I think of all the things that I enjoy about my job. And then once I get to the airport, I start coming across a lot of people, and that used to take me out of it. But now I've found a way to shift that. Now I come across people, and I find the things that I appreciate about them instead of seeing the things and focusing on the stuff that I think are bad about them, right? So I'm able now to get from my house all the way to the airplane in alignment, and then meet the crew, and then just I'm in so much love at that point that like I'm just happy, and everybody becomes uplifted typically. Uh, so this to me is freedom at work, right? Having the feeling of not like going there and feeling disempowered, but finding ways to remain in a freedom feeling, a feeling of freedom. Um, and we're at basically I guess I'll end with, let me think, is there anything else? Oh, yeah, the Kundalini thing. So, just to backtrack to, so now I'm at the computer, I'm able to stay in alignment. I put the big trade on. I I'm in alignment. I'm focused on the positive outcome. No matter what I see on the screen, you have to be able to make the energetic experience the primary thing. Don't get sucked in. Don't give the power outward. Uh, and then the trade goes my way. Woohoo! All is well. Now, while this is happening, I'm feeling the energy flow from the root to the gut, to the heart, through the throat, through the head. Now mixing, and now the energy is fully flowing instead of getting stuck in the head. And and what I realized, this is it, is that what I was doing to keep myself stuck, I as much as I was trying, I was still attached to the outcome of, this is the big statement, being attached to the outcome of any desire is what keeps the process stuck here for me recently. I had all of this, but this being stuck in needing an outcome to go a certain way, circumstantial, not understanding actual unconditional love was holding it stuck. And I'm still working on it, but I feel a huge breakthrough, and that is it for now. Thank you.